Hello everyone, I'm Rajesh Vatelan, VRC faculty at 2IIM, and in this video I'm going to share the 5 common VRC traps and how to avoid them. So let's have a look. The first trap, instruction trap. So instruction trap is very simple. You have certain instructions given to you in the passage, in the question stem, in the instruction. Read them very carefully. Question stem usually includes certain words like except, non, inconsistent, consistent, no, not possible. A lot of time we miss out on these certain small words, and this creates a lot of issue as we end up marking the wrong answer. So please pay attention to the instruction, pay attention to the question stem when you're solving the question. The second trap is the momentum trap. Momentum trap, this is something which was very peculiar to the previous year, CAT 2024. This was introduced for the first time. Usually when I go for RC passages, I want to read them all in one go because you are building up the momentum. You have read one passage, the first passage will be a little tougher to read, the second one will be a little easier, third one will be a little more easier, and the final one will be the easiest to read. This is how you gain upon your momentum. Unfortunately, last year in CAT 2024, they tried to break that momentum by adding VA questions right after each passage. If you want to continue with that momentum, you have to learn how to avoid those VA questions for the end. Or if you want to go for VA questions, go for all of them at one go and then go for RC passages, or the vice versa. When you go for all the RC passages once and then you go for VA questions. Third one, the scope creep. I like to call it scope creep because they are trying to creep in the scope. Just want to make very clear about this. I have given these names to these traps. Someone might give other names. Just have to remember the idea. Names are not important. So scope creep is very simple. What they'll try to do is they'll use certain words that are given in the passage and they'll create an option. They'll create multiple options which might look like the right answer because they contain the keywords, but they might have different meaning altogether. They might be going opposite to the passage, or they might be irrelevant to the passage, right? So when this happens, you have to keep your eye open. Just because it contains important keywords doesn't mean that it will be the right answer. Fourth one, first impression trap. Just because it looked good on the first impression doesn't mean that it is going to be a right answer. Your job is very simple. As soon as you read an option, and this is particularly prevalent in RC questions and para summary. You'll find this very much prevalent in para summary and RC main idea questions. This might look right. Why? A particular option might look right to you, and just because it makes a lot of sense as compared to other 3 options, you'll go with it. Doesn't mean that you have to do that. Okay, keep your eye open for it, because unless you have checked it, unless you have checked the veracity of the option with respect to the passage, this is not something that you should do. Every single option that you read, check whether it has evidence for it in the passage or not. If it doesn't have any evidence, if it doesn't have any implication or inference in the passage, or if it is not directly mentioned, that is definitely not going to be your answer. So just because it looked right on your first impression doesn't mean that it is right altogether. And the last trap, the sophisticated option bait. This is actually a bait, not a trap. It's a very nice bait that they create. A few options might be very sophisticated to look at. They'll be amazingly written. They'll be in a very polished English, and our mind automatically gets attracted towards that option because it makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, who will spend a lot of time trying to create such an option unless it is the right answer? This is how we actually think. This is not how you need to operate. Just because it is sophisticatedly written and just because it is in a very polished, posh English doesn't mean that it has to be right answer. Keep your eyes open, keep your senses alarmed, and look for evidence. It is very much similar to the first impression trap, but different in the sense that here the first impression is about the sophisticated version of the English. Okay, so keep your senses open, keep your eyes open, don't fall for these traps, and all the best for all of you. All the best to all of you for the CAT 2025. Hope to see you all succeed. Thank you very much.